Hello, and welcome to another episode of the New World Comics Podcast. I'm Buck Berlin, owner-operator of this fine establishment. Joined with me this week is Oklahoma City's own, the Jerry Bennett.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, hi, Jerry.
How are you doing, Buck?
I'm all right.
Excellent.
So, you're a week late, and we're running Inktober well into November now.
I apologize.
Some people's children.
Well, I felt like I was having a child. I had a stomach bug that was out of this world.
Oh my!
It was the worst. It was a horrible week last week. So I apologize.
Oh, it's all right. We had a good time with Cassidy and Matt last week.
Oh, I bet you did.
Yeah, we talked to superhero school and like the origins of all that, and that kind of stuff. And
how old is superhero school now?
we are going into year 8.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah, we're about halfway through.
Halfway through.
Like halfway to.
You mean you're ending it?
I mean,
I don't know.
If we don't get these crowds back up. This coming May will be 8 years, so we're 7.5 years right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it feels like we're like 2-3 years into it, and it's no.
My goodness, yeah. I mean, even I've participated in superhero school. It's crazy. I mean, it's.
You're the impetus for one of the rules.
I don't know about that.
Poor Jerry here got stabbed by a kid.
Oh, that is
with
true.
kryptonite. Glass kryptonite, like actual volcanic glass kryptonite.
Well, I was playing Lex Luthor after all.
I
mean, I guess it makes sense.
But my God, yeah. So we had to explain to the kids that you don't be too mean to the villains, because if you're nice enough to the villains, sometimes they could become the good guys.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to have that little lesson for.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of subtlety that goes into these things that probably is lost on a lot, but
maybe she knew deep down that Lex is always going to be a villain.
Yeah, probably. Oh man,
I don't know.
So, I guess for those that are listening to this, this one is going to be a highly visual podcast, so we recommend watching this on our YouTube or the Facebook page or other various medias.
Is there another media that you show it visually?
Yeah, smoke signal. Oddly, it's kind of like a Morse code kind of thing, but you have to blur your eyes. It's like those visual things where you have to kind of stare off past it, kind of thing. The mind trickery things that used to be big in like the early 90s.
For those listening audio, I'm shaking my head.
Yeah. I'm full of it there. So, that got done real quick.
That did.
Yeah. I don't know. Drew, is there another place that I should mention?
Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube. All right, great. Thanks. Drew Stone running things, keeping me more or less on track.
I mean, I think it's kind of short of a miracle to keep Buck on track on anything.
I mean, it's pretty much the wife and then everyone else kind of does their best.
Right.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about our Inktober experience, because I honestly hadn't done it in 2 years. I barely have drawn in the last couple of years, whereas you draw constantly.
Right.
But before we do that, I want to talk about some of your upcoming projects, things to look forward to. You just announced on social media that you are involved in the Friends reunion, where all the cast is getting back together. You're going to be part of the cast. You're going to grope like 2 or 3 of them with consent, and it's going to be the most amazing thing ever.
Well, I'm going to be playing Mr. Heckles. No, anyway. He died in the show.
Oh no!
So I am the reanimated corpse of Mr. Heckles.
Yeah, I've seen maybe 2 or 3 episodes of Friends.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Well, it was not made for me.
I guess not. Not. It was made for me. I was pretty addicted to it for a while, but
like I did Seinfeld for a little while, but
I
Scrubs was like my jam.
Oh.
I am a Scrubs kid.
I came into that late in the day, and boy, I fell hard for it when it was on Netflix.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
it was
everything. It helped shape me as a person. Like
that I I can believe. I
like
can totally
I relate
believe.
to JD quite a bit, and like the way that music like shaped it. Yeah, like it's one of
absolutely.
those. Whereas like Friends was, I saw as kind of a vapid thing that was made for something older than me and not quite the kind of people that I would hang with.
Right? No, I get that.
It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
But it's one of those. I don't begrudge anyone who likes it. It's just not for me.
It was just not yours.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you're joining the cast of Friends
for
their reunion on Thanksgiving.
So TBS it runs the syndicated Friends episodes, and I'm basically involved with a Warner Media promotion project through Reckless Abandonment Pictures, Kyle Roberts, and it was, in fact, we just wrapped it today. It was like a day-long project that
the entire cast came here to Oklahoma and shot with you as you.
Man, that's gonna get old.
I'll For those that aren't catching on, I'm lying. I have no idea what's actually going on.
He does not.
I mean, I have some ideas. They're just typically wrong.
Right. Yeah. But so it's basically a project to celebrate the classic Friends Thanksgiving episodes, or what they like to call Friendsgiving. It wrapped this week as far as my part of it, and hopefully it will get to see it pretty quickly because it's going to be promoting for Thanksgiving. So
and I mean, if it's too late in the game, then there's always next year.
I hope not.
If we okay, well, you're hoping for the apocalypse. All right.
No,
thanks, Gary.
No, that's not what I meant.
No, next year, everyone. Have a good one this time.
Well, we put our heart into it, and we just worked really hard, very quickly, because the timeline was a very, very fast one, and so I think we'll have it to show pretty quickly. So I'm looking forward to be able to promote it very quickly.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you also have another round of Marvel trading cards that you've done.
So I for several years I'd gotten to do licensed trading cards for Topps, Upper Deck, Cryptozoic, Richard Parks cards, and so I had done several sets for Marvel and had most recently done one for their Marvel Masterpieces set.
So you're a master.
Oh yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. Anyway.
So does it make you like He-Man?
Do what?
What?
No.
I've seen the loincloth.
And it's a weird process. So they send me a certain amount of cards that I will draw for them.
And they're just the blank cards.
Yeah, they're blank cards. And these are ones that I've already drawn on. So and they're on my social.
You ruined them?
I did.
You just drew right up.
I did.
Okay.
I did. They're ruined. They're officially licensed ruined cards.
Officially ruined.
But here's the thing. So like they give me a few blank ones to keep for myself, and I can either commission them or I can draw on them and have them licensed and approved, and then I can sell them. And so I had let quite a stack of them actually build up. And so I had like 4 from, I think this was from the 2017 Marvel Premiere set.
Yeah.
And then I had some from Fleer Ultra X-Men. And then another Marvel Premiere set, 2018 Marvel Premiere.
And these are absolutely stunning. Like these are some of
thank you
your best card work I've seen.
Yeah,
like
so
that storm is like I said before the show. It's one of my favorite faces you've drawn.
Thank
like
you.
in comic book style.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You have several styles.
And this is his other favorite.
Oh yeah, any kind of swamp creature. Oh, I'm all over. Yeah.
So I decided to take the whole stack, make a list of characters, draw them, and then just send in scans and have them approved. And the approval process can take quite a while. And so I had actually drawn these back in February.
Yeah.
And so
and they're just now getting.
I just got the approvals. So
some interesting little factoids about the trading card process that you were telling me is that they'll send you a list of characters that they don't want you to draw.
Right.
And I don't want to name names or tell tales or anything, but like there's some shockingly big characters that you're not allowed to draw.
There's some huge characters, and I don't even know why at this point, because like At one point, I could see why, because there's licensing issues. Whether it's because Fox owns, some characters, or Sony owns some characters, or whatever.
Yeah, I get that they don't want you drawing like Leapfrog and Swarm, as premier characters. But
well, honestly, I don't think they would. Some of those, I don't think they would mind.
Yeah, but I remember, the first time that you showed me a list was almost all X characters. And I remember Arclight being one of the first ones.
Right.
Which every time that because once you told me that was a thing, I Googled the heck out of it. And it's like, all right, so Jerry, here's the list that I found. Because you're like, I can't show you the list.
Right. Like,
here's the list. You're like, all right, fine. There's the list.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, Arclight. What? Yeah. Why are they so concerned about Arclight?
And it was just, I honestly, and I don't know, they don't even understand the reasons half the time. The people at Upper Deck, they're given this list, and they constantly have to update it. I was really amazed that they had added some of the like really prominent characters. But even at this point now, with Disney owning, I think, all of them again, and so I don't understand why that would be an issue now, but apparently it still is. Yeah,
maybe it's them just trying to flex their muscle, and
maybe so.
Yeah,
maybe there's some I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed, or whatever.
Right, and there are weird things that go on, like the Human Torch wasn't allowed to be in the Fantastic Four cartoon, and everyone's like, because they're afraid of kids setting themselves on fire. No, it's because they were trying to make a Human Torch live action TV show.
Right.
And they were afraid of overexposure, that kind of thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah. Was that the series?
Where Herbie?
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, we just did the Fantastic Four superhero school, so all that's fresh.
Oh, that's why I see Herbie over here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he was our promotional tool.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, aside from your cards, you have some comic work coming out.
Yes. So, we've been promoting Glamorella's Daughter. We haven't been selling it on a large scale, and
it's because it hasn't been here yet.
Obviously, yes. We sell it. We do sell it at the Literati Press bookstore in Paseo Plunge, because it's being published through Literati Press, and then I'll sell it. I was selling it at my art residency when I had that, and then I'll probably sell it at Comic-Cons, but I don't even have any copies right now, so
and as soon as y'all get more copies, we'll have them here in the store.
Yes,
en masse. Like, there's no chance of us running out of them.
Well, no.
There's a chance of us running out of them, but
sure.
I'll push it as hard as I did Heathen, and make sure that we.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, but we'd sent out some review copies and have had a lot of great response. In fact, the Heathen creator gave us an amazing quote. She really enjoyed it, so I was over the moon happy with her review of it.
Yeah, well, and when you asked me what I thought about it, it's some of the best work that you and Charles have ever done.
Thank you.
It's one of the first times where I didn't hear Charles in some aspect of his voice as a writer.
Really?
Coming through. It felt like these are characters unto themselves.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Like, it was just really odd knowing that he did it. Like, sometimes I'll try to separate, my friends from their work and try to see what I can do that way.
So I don't know if you know the full origin of the story, if I've told you the full origin of how the story came about. For
the sake of the podcast, we'll say no.
Okay. So
yes, but
you're right. Yeah. So I've had this story for years in my head about a mother-daughter dynamic relationship where the mother is the superhero of the world, and the daughter is like nothing like her, just complete opposite, but gifted in her own ways. And so when I approached Charles with this, he'd been wanting to collaborate with me for a while on a full project.
I mean, who doesn't?
Whatever. He was super stoked about the story ideas, and so he came up with some amazing scripts and added some really great layers to the story. And so, in fact, it was his idea that Comet would be autistic, and it's been an amazing aspect to the whole story, and it's just made for a beautiful relationship dynamic.
It does add a lot to the story too, and it's not done in such a way where it feels hammered home what it is. It's just, if you know a child with autism, you hear that voice, you hear that nuance of
Thank you.
how she interacts with everyone.
Right.
It's slightly different, but I mean,
Oh, yeah.
But just if you know what's going on.
And Charles, I mean, his dialogue for the characters, I mean, I feel like they come across very authentic, and we've had lots of parents with children with autism who feel like it was a very authentic voice.
I mean, in the past, they're kind of written like outcasts, weirdos kind of thing.
Yes.
Whereas here, there's an intelligence and genuine love in her voice.
Awesome.
Like it's and it's not like like rainbows and sunshine.
No.
It's she feels genuine.
I appreciate that. I totally appreciate that.
Yeah, and your art is leaning more cartoony.
It is.
It's more in line with your the animated thing you did with the Autism Oklahoma.
Yeah, it really is. Even in Death.
Even in Death.
Yeah, the short film. Yeah.
It leans more towards that, but it still feels like your art.
Cool.
Like
Thank you.
Your composition, the flow of story, page layout, it's all there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's things that I look for whenever I look at an indie book. It's that, does this feel professional, like something that I'd buy from a Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you don't want to necessarily say that the independent standard isn't right. It's just those are the names that you think of for a reason. It's because they do it better than most others.
But like you said, independent also means there's a flexibility that you don't get with Marvel and DC. So you can still have that litmus test, but with as long as it adheres a quality,
right.
There has to be a quality to it. But of course, there's a lot of freedoms.
There's quality to it as opposed to a quality to it.
True.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good point.
It's one of those where being the independent voice that you have here, you have time to let things breathe.
Absolutely.
And there are little moments where that happens on the page just through the spacing inside of a panel that most people wouldn't pick up on.
Right. Yeah. I love the opportunity that's afforded to me to do that kind of thing. And so with that idea, issue 2 is really interesting in the fact that I am getting more comfortable with the characters and with the style, because it took me a while to feel comfortable with issue 1. To be okay with it, I think is
because you always want to go back and change things.
Oh yeah,
we're going to get into a lot on the Inktobers of the if only we could.
And even like our ultimate goal with the story is to have it published as a full graphic novel, like through one of the larger children's book companies, and they're most likely going to ask me to redraw pages anyway. So I'm gonna prepare myself for that eventuality.
Right.
So, but I'm having fun laying out issue 2 right now, and we're still Charles Martin and I are both trying to figure out our best way to produce it, because he's very involved beyond the writing, as far he's lettering, and in fact he's laying down the color flats as well, and so he's been a great collaborator to have. So, and he's totally willing to learn anything that I feel like needs correction or revision, on his side with the coloring or lettering, and on the same, he's been very open and flexible, allowing me to be a part of the writing process as well. So it's the best collaboration I could possibly have.
No, Charles has been amazing. Like he's been good, but it seems in recent times he went from good to great.
I totally agree. I mean, I've always liked his writing style.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but there's just something that happened. He broke through a wall that we didn't necessarily know was there, and here he is. I had the pleasure of having a podcast with him right before his kid was born, his newest kid.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like he kept checking the phone, like, all right, do I go to the hospital? Is it time? It was, I think, 2 days before.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I bet that was fun.
Oh, it was great. Because he and I had been friends for a while, but we hadn't really had much conversation just ourselves. Usually we'd meet up and we were in the same group of people together, but it very rarely was it he and I. And oh man, just all the questions that I got to ask and just everything that I learned.
Man.
There aren't many of these that I can say it genuinely enriched my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
I need to go back and track that down because I did not hear it.
You most definitely do. I want to say it ended up being one of our longer ones too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Welcome.
So, last thing that I want to cover, you're doing an alternate cover to Sister Powers #2.
Yes.
It's your first work that's getting put out on a national level through Diamond Comics.
Right?
The source of my existence, the bane to my existence. Did I say bane? I meant I love them. Entirely. Every moment.
All right.
Yeah. So, and you're going to do a signing here with Mario.
Yes.
Whenever it comes out. Yeah, in December.
So that was really cool. That was a cool experience. I mean...
Yeah, they spelled your name wrong, which is on brand with Diamond. I mean, I love them. They're the best. Greatest.
So, yeah.
So they sent me this certificate for like 10 years with Diamond. It's in the bathroom.
Are you... Oh!
It's right there above the toilet. It's great. Love Diamond. They're the best.
Source of pride. You're so bad. So bad.
So are they.
Mercy.
So we have that to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
It's December 10th. We'll get a.
I believe so, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check the date on that. And for those out there that are interested, check our various social medias. It'll be on one of them. We hope.
Most likely.
I mean, unless the apocalypse, like Jerry was hoping for, comes, then
yeah,
no Friendsgiving for anyone.
Say your prayers.
Yeah, for those that have them. Oh man.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, for those that are interested, this is what it's like all the time we hang out. Like he's just the nicest guy, and puts up with me and my mean-spiritedness.
And well, and to be honest, I've been very lack in being able to drop by. My schedule got crazy recently, and
I understand, and yeah, mine too.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah. So I hate that we haven't been able to hang out as often as we do. So
I look forward to the beginning of the year just because that's when everything really calms down for me, and I can adjust my schedule for everyone else. Finally,
that's cool.
It's like late April, like everything kicks into super high gear, and then like it doesn't really calm down until like after Batman Day, after September, like it starts stepping down.
Wow, dude, that's a continual busy.
Yeah, well, it's like every 2 or 3 weeks there's an event, and then we have Batman Day, and then after that it's a month till Halloween Comic Fest, then a month till Thanksgiving, and then a month till Christmas.
Christmas, right?
And then you're in the New Year's a week later, and then you're good.
That's true.
Yeah,
till.
Until Free Comic Book Day, and then the con, and then
everything goes fast forward again.
Yeah, then the anniversary sale, and then
so it's nice to have a schedule.
Yeah, but most importantly, Jerry, it's nice to have you, and I'm so happy to spend time with you. My friend.
Appreciate that. I love being here, man. I love getting to chat with you. I love the opportunities I have to come here.
Me too, and I love the fact that we first bonded over just art. Before I knew that you were actually an artist. You came in as a customer, and
right.
I was BSing with you about, man, I love the line work on this thing. And you said, you pay attention to the line work itself? I'm like, yeah, because, I used to be really big into drawing. Like, and in the years before I worked here, I would sculpt, I would draw, I would paint. I would make things. Like
Right.
I was a multimedia.
I mean,
art
you were
enthusiast.
full into the arts, and these are things I just did not know and never expected.
Right, and until like superhero school really started, people knew that I kind of sort of drew, but not often.
Right.
And one of my goals in life, I wanted to be a horror film director.
Now that I'm not sure I knew.
Yeah. So when I went out to Comic-Con, I made sure to go like talk to Lloyd Kaufman. Like,
Really?
yeah, and I got pointers from him, and like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. Well, and this is pre-Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, well, how did James Gunn do it? How did all that? And he was just an amazing source of information, and took the time to talk to me, and it was wonderful.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Lloyd Kaufman is absolutely one of my heroes.
There's some creators out there that are completely amazing to talk to, and they're completely willing to share what they know, their experience with you, and I love people like that.
Yeah. Well, I caught him at the right time, and
yeah.
Right after me, there was some guy that was like, "Oh, I want to talk distribution with you." I was like, "Great, I just finished up." I was like, "Woo!"
Good timing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then like right after that, I went to a panel about Friday the 13th, and like accidentally went to the wrong side of the panel room, the side that all the like guests go into.
Oh.
Ran into Kane Hodder.
Oh my.
Like who played Jason Voorhees. Like,
right.
I was like, "Oh my God, you're Kane Hodder." He was like, "Come here, kid." And then like we talked, he was like, "You seem really normal. Let's just talk so I don't get swarmed by weirdos." I get a whole bunch of weirdos.
Oh.
And then like
wow.
the rest of the panel started showing up, and like I just talked with them the whole time.
That's unreal, dude.
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Kane has like so many like horrific burns on it, because like it's like his face is, Joe, but like you look at his neck and like you can see all these burns because he was a stunt man.
Oh, I didn't realize he had gotten a lot of scars from that. Okay. Yeah. I've never seen I've never seen him up close or in person. I don't think I've seen that many pictures of him, honestly, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, I digress so quickly. So yeah, we were talking art when you first started coming around. And
yeah.
Then, you had mentioned that you're an artist, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, you need to bring some stuff," and you're like, "Oh, I will eventually." Then you did, and I was floored.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I love it just because it had a Kubert-esque vibe to it.
That's funny. Yeah.
And I don't mean Joe Kubert. It's an Adam or Andy kind of feel.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like a Joe Kubert plus, I don't know, bubbly. Like it kind of has a rounder quality to it.
Cool.
Kind of thing. Like that's what it seemed to be.
I've been getting a lot of compliments in the form of Andy Kubert comparisons. And so that's amazing. And I love that because I love both. I mean, I love all the Kubert's work.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, for those interested, look at Jerry's earlier stuff on the Nader Zenith books.
Right.
It's very prominent there.
Yeah,
it also kind of has a Chris Bacalo feel. Like you kind of have Chris Bacalo hands.
I do, don't I?
Which we'll go into like the different hands and feet, the different influences that you'll take from an artist. Like, I love drawing the bottom of a shoe just because that's how Steve Ditko did it.
Oh yeah.
My hands typically, like I pull heavily from Carlos Pacheco. He has this weird thing, like it's this claw hand.
I know what you're talking. I know exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah, you'll see that a couple times in here.
Oh, that's so funny.
And then the way that Ditko drew female hands, their pinkies always kicked out, kind of like a Barbie doll.
Right. Do you find yourself like influenced by like what you're currently reading or the art you're currently like drawn to?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll see a thing and appreciate it and leave it there. Okay. Sometimes I'll see a thing and think, oh, that is a great way to represent this. And sometimes it's a certain part of the body, and sometimes it's a certain thing.
Okay.
Like
a certain way to have drawn that particular part of the body, or
like someone draws hands better than they do anything else.
Okay.
Carlos Pacheco, everyone in his heyday, everyone kind of looks like they had their eyes closed. So I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, that's the face that I like a lot. like faces. I took a lot from George Perez. Who has a way of drawing noses and eyes.
Yep, and you know his style when you see it. Yeah,
yeah, and there was a wizard on How to Draw the Manga Way by Adam Warren. That's how I learned to start with eyes and draw the into the nose for the 3/4 turn, because it's a C with an H, and then the eyebrow comes and forms the nose.
Oh, that's
like
so
a check,
funny.
like an upside down check mark.
I've never looked at it like that. That's
and
very good,
then
though.
you add the little curves to add
Right.
things, and then the eyelashes form the eye.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's little tricks like that you can adapt that into a different style.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
so like I say, I hadn't drawn really in 2 years. Like anytime we'd have an event here at the store, I'd try to sit down and be one of the fill-in artists, because I can fake it enough to produce an art that someone's like, cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, because you are able to, you think very quick on your feet, and you're able to incorporate your sense of humor into your art, and so you come up with concepts that are just brilliant and funny.
Well,
and
thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so the fact that you can be so quick-witted on the paper like that is a huge gift. I'm jealous, honestly.
Oh, that is flooring, because I feel like I am but a peasant beneath the mountain that is.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
Please.
Artistically, I look up to you most, more than anyone else. There are aspects in here that you'll see that I have definitely stolen from you outright.
Oh, that's interesting.
Man,
I'm looking forward to.
Just wait till you see Beast's fur.
Okay.
So I'll mention my first page, my list.
Oh yes, the list.
So for Inktobers, usually I just kind of we'll take a picture of all the scratched through things.
Yeah.
I made a list 1 through 31. I left one blank because I always feel like I got held up on one of them.
I was wondering why.
Like, let's give myself a modicum of freedom.
Yes.
Just a little bit of wiggle room, just in case I don't feel like drawing a thing. I can choose this. But I made a list of my favorite characters. At one point or another, all of these were my favorite characters. There's one regret I have, is I didn't have a 32 to throw in Metamorpho.
Oh, right. Well, now, when you do Inktober, isn't that normally what you do?
So it's some of my favorite characters.
Okay.
But these are, at one point or another, I could tell you kind of when or why these were my favorite characters.
Nice.
Like there's
nice.
One, like sometimes it would have lasted a week, sometimes it lasted years, and like other things were like, okay, I like that too, but this is my favorite.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of where I went with it, and it was I don't want to just draw these characters. I kind of want to build a scene, just because you can draw a figure, and then essentially you're doing figure drawing, but that only goes so far.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
And since I hadn't drawn in so long, I really wanted to push myself and try something. And you can kind of see where I kind of hit my groove, and
Oh yeah.
And then there are some where I just didn't have the time because it was a super busy day. But part of the idea behind Inktober is it's forcing you to draw,
right?
No matter what.
And that's where I failed miserably, but
sort of. But all right, so I want to start off with yours.
Okay.
And you've done, I think, 15.
I did 15. I didn't even count until tonight.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So we'll try to do a 2-to-1.
And I'll yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I will preface that the main reason that I did not is because so
you were intimidated by my rising star. No.
He nailed it.
Because
I had the art residency all last year, and my wife and I decided that we just needed a break, so we took a vacation in the form of a staycation, and we wanted a break completely. I mean, we wanted to just kind of cut ourselves off from society pretty much and just relax, period. And so that meant cutting myself, and it was in October that we decided to do this. And so that for me, that meant cutting myself off from social media for a week. And so I knew that I was not going to be able to do all of the Inktober. I could have drawn something every day during my vacation, but it didn't.
But since you draw for a living, it takes away from that. I'm forcing myself to get better at drawing.
It really does. It really does. And so I when I came back from vacation, I did jump back into it, but I still had a lot of work in front of me anyway. And so, I, not to make excuses, but.
Well, no, and it's kind of weird what kind of came out from it, because, like, there were other friends of mine that I didn't realize that were doing this either, and some of them messaged me and were like, "Hey, man, I what you're doing is inspiring me. Like, let's get this done." And now I'm seeing their stuff. It's like, oh, all right, well, you've certainly surpassed me now.
Oh gosh,
Greg Shaw and Josh Fearing.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh, yes.
Oh man,
isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so impressed with so many people who take on these challenges and rise and do it and like not be afraid of it. It takes a bravery to post your stuff brand. If you're doing this stuff brand new.
I will say that typically I'm not a shy person, and
no,
there's not many things that I'm apprehensive about. I try not to post too much on social media because I feel like, oh, what jackassery do people really want to hear from me?
Right.
They're not around me right now because I'm sure they're tired of whatever I have. They've had their fill of me. Let's give them the respite.
Okay.
So posting this, it's the, all right, you probably don't want to see my silly characters. And then lo and behold, most everyone was like, oh, let's do more. And I don't know, there's some level of me that, maybe I should be more humble about this, and maybe I should embrace the thing.
I think you should embrace it because I mean, if you're going to commit to it, I think people are going to expect your commitment and therefore expect to see.
And I will say, knowing that there were people expecting to see things, did push me through on some of those days where it was I've got an hour and a half left. What am I going to do?
Right.
So it was that.
That's awesome.
And had I not done it that night, I doubt I would have completed the month, and I'm happy I did.
Oh, I'm proud of you, dude.
Right.
I think I see a level of quality consistent throughout the whole 31 days. I mean, regardless of whatever amount of time you spent on each one. So I think it's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
So I know I keep saying that we're going to start with you. Let's start with yours.
Yes.
So you have this Lady Ostrich.
Yes. So initially, I was going to do these anthropomorphic characters because I want to do some. I want to just create some original characters anyway, and so I like the idea of just using anthropomorphic characters in that process, and so here's where I started.
One, and this hits right at my level of humor. You have the ostrich being an aviator, the flightless bird.
Right?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, so when you do these, do you have an ostrich picture pulled up, or have you drawn it enough? Do you have a lady aviator pulled up?
I was looking up aviator, women's aviator jackets. I was looking for some
because the lapels are much bigger.
They are, yeah. And I don't think I knew that going in, but I realized that quickly, and so I wanted to capture, a stylistic version of the jacket, and
it's got a higher waist to it,
right? And their pants are even like a specific.
They're tapered
style.
Up and flare out lower than their natural hip.
Right, right. And so it was a fun experiment, and I was using for a while. For my first days,
like you're just doing brush.
Yeah, it was just brush, and so I kind of wanted to not only do anthropomorphic characters, but also get some greater skill with my brush pens.
Yeah, and that's something that I kind of wish that I would have done, but I know that I couldn't have done everything that I wanted to with the brush pen, because it would have taken me so much longer to get to where I had
I
been.
totally understand. And I mean, and I would like start on that at one point in the day and finish it way later in the day. So I'd stop and start again just because I would use it as a momentary break from whatever work I was working on. So yeah, I get that.
So seeing the difference between the lapel fur and then the feather on the neck and then into the more downy fur for the face, how long did it take you to come up with the difference of line work to get that, or did you crib that from some other artist?
No, I was just honestly, it was just a throw it down and hope
Throw
for
it down
the
and see what
best.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I wonder because I mean, there's sometimes like, aha, I figured it out, and then others it's the, oh man, I totally stole it. I stole the living hell out of that thing. Oh man, look at this thing. Thank you for figuring that out so I can use it.
And I'm not afraid of stealing. I mean, if it's gonna make me a better artist, then I have no problem taking techniques.
Take that, Jeff Goldblum. Taking someone else's work.
So bad.
I'm just saying, dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. It's there are birds. It's the thing.
Yeah.
I'll stop now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've talked about this masterpiece, which it genuinely, I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
So
since you did all 31, we'll do 2 of yours.
We'll do 2 of mine.
Okay. So
so we have Giant Man.
Giant Man. Yes. And I love right off the bat you took a bold jump into changing, perspectives.
Perspective, yeah.
And so this is a very dynamic perspective and I love it. And so you've shown your consistency in your style. Your style, I feel like you have an established style that
you can tell it's me.
That I can tell it's you. And so
now, when you look for certain styles of people, I usually find a tell. This person draws, like we said earlier, this person draws a hand or a foot or a face or something. Like, you can almost always tell a John Byrne person based on their face.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Is there anything else, this is me just genuinely curious. Is there something about mine that stands out like, that's Buck?
Your line art. I mean, your specific line art style is.
It's more sketch than solid line.
It is, but it's consistent. So it's a great style that you've developed, and so it's you've built up a consistency and a solid quality to that kind of sketchy. So
thanks.
So you're a sketchy guy.
Yes, I am. Yeah, but no, that's my favorite Giant Man costume is the original because it looks like he's ready to go fight kaiju. Like there's just
it kind of is
kind of an Ultraman quality to it.
Right. I didn't even think about that. You're
right.
Like
I think it's the zigzag boots and gloves.
Oh, I love
and then the extra antenna because he's Giant Man but still has ant antenna. Like that doesn't make sense, but yeah, it works. And that truck I hate.
What do you hate about it?
Oh, it just the perspective. If I could have just shifted it a little, it's just off enough to look.
Well, what's funny is that there's a part of me that looks at this and
it kind of looks fishbowl.
It does. It does. But I mean, and it's a nice complete fishbowl appearance if I can say that. So yeah. So I have no problem with that and didn't have a problem with the truck. So I liked it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. So yeah, and so of course I knew. I mean, obviously, Fantastic Four was going to feature at some point.
Well, I initially was just going to draw the thing because there was a day that I found my brush pen just hanging out behind the counter. So I just went over to one of the tables and was sitting there talking with someone, and I just knocked out a bust of the thing. So if you visit the store, it's on one of the tables somewhere.
Okay.
Of course, I draw on my own stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that, dude. Yeah. I understand that.
But this comes from a superhero school that we did where Spider-Man extinguished the Human Torch anytime he said fire.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I was wondering if there was any. I felt like there was a story to it. I didn't know if this was based on something from the comics, or
Well, I mean, sort of, because there's always that rival between the Thing.
Well, that's
and
true.
Human
That's true.
Torch.
That's true.
So
That's
you know,
true.
like, I didn't throw in Spidey for the Thing, but it was just this really. This was my attempt at getting their personalities.
Oh yeah.
Down, telling the story in one image.
Absolutely. No, I love it. I mean, and you handle ensemble pieces really well. So I mean,
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a good placement. I feel like of all the characters. So yeah,
It was really difficult trying to figure out how to get everyone in there without it feeling crowded.
Oh, believe me, I understand.
And then there was how do you force that perspective of putting a door in there without it making it look like it's just happening all up against the wall,
Right.
And then there's, well, what details do you add to it? What do you take away from it? That kind of stuff. Because the picture just works with the Thing and Human Torch.
True.
So you had to shoehorn in Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman.
Right. No, but
in doing that, it's Reed would be trying to stop Ben because he knew that Sue would yell at him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed. I enjoy the texture and what you have with the Human Torch. I think it's just a fun like half fire put out, half fire still going.
Yeah.
It's a nice combo. So
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely, I love it.
Yeah, looking at it, I really wish that I would have figured out line weight a little earlier on that. Just because it would give a lot more depth to it, and
Sure.
It could really build out the scene. Like if I had shaded the background a bit darker, than they would have popped.
And
And
honestly, where you have Human Torch, I don't think there's too much extra line weight you could have added. Honestly,
right, but with like the Thing and honestly where Sue is.
Well, I can see that. Yeah. No, I
Yeah, I should have done softer line work for the back, because
no.
The thicker the line, the closer it seems like it is to you. So
No, that's true. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
No, I'm a huge nerd on line weights and for perspective reasons. So
Yeah.
No.
And it's a thing that I used to know, and then like I learned. I think on the Ninja Turtle page you'll see.
Okay.
I think that Mr. Miracle I was figuring it out, and then eventually I really came back around to it.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Rock on, dude.
All right, so let's get to your Bulldog Lumberjack.
Yeah, I don't know. I just was trying to think things that I thought might be interesting together.
Yeah, I mean, did you have like a list of things like, here's my list of animals, here's my list of, professions type of people?
I was not near as organized as you are.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's just I'm going to draw, did you figure out you're going to draw a lumberjack first or a bulldog first?
I think it was a bulldog first. I was thinking of animals, and so I would Google animals and find some interesting ones, and then keep screenshots of those, and then think of characters I think, and just start looking at like what character I think would belong to that head, whatever. So yeah.
Okay, so you drew the head first, and then we're like, all right,
Oh no, I didn't. I would come up with the idea first before drawing the whole thing.
Okay.
So yeah, no.
Gotcha.
I couldn't draw the head without at least having an idea of what the rest of it was going to go.
Fair enough.
Yep.
So when you draw things like boots.
Yeah.
Is there a certain brand or a certain boot that you think of whenever it's all right? It's boot time.
Honestly, with boots, I would try to draw those from memory and at least have an idea of what I feel like was an image of a boot. So there's things like at this point where I'm trying to like depend on my already developed sense of what certain things look like.
I got it. Well, because like when I think shoe, it's all right, Converse it is.
There you go. Exactly.
But then it's oh wait, no, that person wouldn't wear Converse. They would wear a more dress shoe.
Oh,
or they
sure.
would wear a thicker soled shoe. Like just trying to think of.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. That's another reason I like to create new characters, because you get to develop, you get to get into the head of these characters and decide what kind of shoe that they would wear. What their ensemble would be, if it affected their career.
Right, because you can tell a lot of story with just the small details.
Absolutely.
In what a person's wearing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah. So obviously it almost looks like he's wearing two different boots, honestly. Because flap is so far out.
See, I look at that and think that he's more rugged because he's not taking the time to fix the tongue of his shoe.
I'll take it. That could be very true. Yeah.
There are times that I'm walking around oh, the tongue of my shoe is in front of the laces.
I know, right?
Oh, what a slob I am. Things like that.
It totally adds character. Absolutely.
Well, because you might see that, but the thing that ties it all together is the detail around the ankles, where it's that other texture to the leather.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, so I'll call that a happy accident for me then.
Yeah, it works. That just might be me trying to fill in the gaps, but I think that's what part of observing art is.
Absolutely.
Is filling in the gaps and telling the story of whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and I love that can give an opportunity for someone to be creative in their own right as well. So yeah, absolutely. Rock on.
All right.
Let's
move on.
Let's move along.
Oh,
this is great.
This is the one where I felt, all right, I'm really getting my skills back.
Oh man,
because I wanted to make sure that you could tell he was unlocking handcuffs, that he was holding it with his teeth, because there's so much that can go wrong with that.
Oh yes,
and it was I want to make sure that he's underwater. How do I do that? And it was the shape of the cape, because it's going to be wrong.
Right.
But you need to make it look intentionally wrong, not, he didn't know how to draw a cape.
and you could have done so many things with it. So and a cape underwater.
Looking at this now, it's I would have added so many other things, had I done this later, I would have added sharks. I would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But you didn't need. Well, yeah, I guess you could have added that as far as because that sounds like a Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, it just adds to the.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. But simple always tells a great story here, and so you have the simple. He's submerged in water. He's tied up, and he's hard at work. Freeing himself. So I love it, I think the bubbles are perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. and you did something you saved yourself a headache that I would have given myself, in that I would have probably put a dark background.
I thought about that.
I know, yeah. And honestly, I think I think this is a better piece for it.
If I had the Copic markers or something to add an even background,
even solid.
But this was before I was I had learned how to do the scratch with the super fine point to give
that
shading.
Consistent shade. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that was the smart move. Yeah,
and
rock on. All right.
Yeah, and this one,
dude, I love this. It's so bold.
It has the most likes on
Does
Facebook.
It?
Yeah,
okay. That's not surprising.
Yeah, it's 100 and something likes.
Oh my,
I like it. I love other ones more. But with this. I always my initial thought was to see them jumping over a building, but then I realized that you would have to look at all four of them, and then from those pieces you could form one turtle and assume that they're all turtles. I was like, that didn't quite work.
No. And I think what you did is perfect, because you have a background that is appropriate, because they could be on the street level, they could be underground. They could be in the sewers, and it's such a beautiful ensemble piece. And how you didn't feel like you had to incorporate, have their whole body in the frame. I think so many artists feels like when they do a scene, when they do like a pinup scene, that the whole body of each character has to be in there, and you didn't do that, and it feels so much better for it.
Well, I wanted to make sure that you could tell each character individually.
Sure.
The only one that is, without looking at their weapons, whatever,
Right.
would be Leonardo.
Right.
But, like if you look at the bandanas, like, Raphael's is more damaged, Michelangelo's is, way longer. Like Donatello and Leonardo kind of take better care of their stuff, but not necessarily, so like there's little nuances to everyone. Raphael has a way more beat up shell.
And I feel like you've captured a perspective of the anatomy probably at one of your finest here, because like I feel like the anatomy is just well captured in all four of them. So, I mean,
well, thank you.
Yeah, no, it just feels good, and I think filling in the bricks in the background just allows for this allow them to pop out and be just all the more dynamic piece. And you have a lot of different line weights you did bringing in this one.
Thank you.
So yeah.
So the darkening of the brick was they were a parody of Daredevil to begin with, the Frank Miller Daredevil. So my homage to that was the Frank Miller brick wall.
Well played.
So
yeah, that
and then it ended up adding so much more to it.
It really did.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, well done.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite things you've ever done as an artist.
That's so funny.
Thank you. There's just something that speaks to the inner child in me of like as a kid I would have hated this, as an adult I love it.
Really?
Like it's grotesque in the way of what it is. Like, why would you put a hippo in clown makeup? Oh, that's terrible. But then there's of course a hippo would want to, bring joy, and like it's, yeah.
And that was a hard thing to accomplish, trying to figure out how to place the makeup on
a hippo. Yeah, because where does the nose stop?
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love the makeup also being extra shading under the eye. Figuring out where the cheek is.
Right? Yeah.
Like it's that figuring out where to move the collar.
Right. Yeah.
Or make sure that it didn't impede the jaw, kind of thing. I just love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just the eyebrows or the eyelashes on it.
Thank you.
Oh.
That was an iffy one for me. I honestly didn't feel like it. I'm glad you feel that way, because like initially I didn't like the way it came out, but then I've warmed up to it since then. I feel like there's some things I could have done with the facial expression, but
how so?
I don't know. I feel like the eyes. I feel like I could have given some space between the eyebrows and the eyes, or I could have changed the size of the eyes. I was overall trying to keep the realistic look of the animals that I was portraying in them, so I didn't go too far into the cartoon side, at least initially. That changed, as you'll see. But
I see with this the excitement, joy, and apprehension of coming out as a clown.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I see in the eye with the eyebrow, because it's happy and excited, but the slant to the brow, just the outside, lends the apprehension, the slight social fear.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
man. I wish I had such deep thoughts going into these.
I mean, sometimes these things just come out on the page, and you don't realize that it's the thing.
You're absolutely right.
But you'll bring out more personality that way than you honestly intended.
I do like the idea of subconscious reacting in that way, where it comes out unintentionally. So thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
So yeah, and I will say, if ever this ends up just on a shelf put away somewhere, I would like this.
Okay.
This needs to be framed and out there. If ever you make a print of it, I want a print. It is wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Most definitely.
Awesome. All right. You're next too.
So this one, I wish I would have drawn a little bit later because my initial idea was to have Kitty going through trees or something that she was just elated to be going through.
That seems like the expression you gave her.
Yeah.
So,
and then I added sentinels.
Did you run out of time on that?
Yeah, I ran out of time, and I was like, I love how stupid, awful the sentinels are. Because like Wolverine with his like 1 foot claw can take down this giant Iron Man like thing.
I know.
Sentinels are just garbage cans that accidentally kill.
They did.
Yeah,
It's so
like,
funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah, to me, Sentinels are the best X-Men villain just because it takes just a lot of them to be real dangerous.
Which is funny. I mean, if you consider them, Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite faces that I've drawn.
On Shadowcat?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, you capture really good emotion here, so I love it. And I really like all the detail on Lockheed as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you did really well.
Yeah, a lot of that I realized when I made the Lockheed puppet.
Yeah.
Last year, I think.
Okay.
God, maybe 2 years. I don't remember. Time just has this way of.
I understand.
Yeah.
Oh. Very cool. Very cool. Rock on. All right. Oh, I think this might be my favorite piece.
Inspired by the commercial for Flash Superhero School. Flashdance.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
we have the commercial still on the Facebook page for the Flashdance. We had Aquaman pour the water on.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I liked how fleshed out this is. I mean,
yeah, this was the first time that I really did research picture.
Oh, for real?
I Googled Flashdance play because I knew that a stage would. Like a live stage shot would show a better lit particles or droplets of water.
Right.
And there was a lot of times I was like, man, how do certain artists draw certain things? And I thought, who draws rain the best?
Okay.
And as much as I dislike most of his work, John Romita Jr.
Oh yeah,
does the best rain in comic books.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like,
yeah,
there's this cover of Spider-Man where he's just perched on the gargoyle.
I know exactly which one. Yeah, it's a great image.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, I do like all of his.
When John Romita Jr. takes the time to make art, he makes one heck of an art.
Oh yeah. But I love how fully rendered this is, and I love your sense of humor.
Yes.
And so I mean,
thank you.
This is one of the things that I feel like needs to be on a T-shirt. I mean, it's just a brilliant mashup, and I love mashups. And so this is just like
a bit of line weight or honestly just coloring would help.
So much with this. No, and, I mean it'd bring it to life.
And later me would have tried to black out the background.
I'm glad you didn't.
Oof.
But if you ever like scan this in and digitally color it, then you could do all those effects that you wanted, and it's ready for a shirt. Oh yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Yep, rock on. All right.
So here we have one of my favorite eyes that you've done.
Thank you.
It's really weird. How easy it is to do the reflective black eyes in pen and ink. Like it looks so intimidating, and just the slightest little variation can throw off the whole damn thing.
It can. It's almost an odd balance how quickly it can turn bad on you.
Yeah, but how simple it is.
Yes.
How simple the effect is.
Yeah.
Like
it's I mean, you can obviously tell how very
how little is there.
Yes.
But how but the amount of depth it gives. And this is one where honestly it looks better in photographs of the picture than it does in real life. Like that's what I was noticing while taking pictures of these, is sometimes the pictures looked a little bit better than the actual drawings.
So funny. I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like there's like an extra little quality there or something.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. But yeah. I love that he's ripped. I love that his boxing gloves are not the shape of a regular person's boxing gloves. They're slightly off because a rabbit's paw would be. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that you didn't overdo the ears because anytime someone does like a rabbit's ears, they want to do the longest ears they can.
And I'm a little bit proud of the background because I tried not to go overboard with a background.
You didn't do it proud. You didn't, and you didn't detail the turnabuckle.
Right.
Yeah, like it's a case of less is more.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Brought home. All right.
This was my first. Oh no, I'm out of time. Yeah, I want to say I cranked that out in like 30 minutes because.
In 30 minutes. I can't believe you did this in 30 minutes.
It may have been 35 minutes, but like it was quick.
What pins are you using?
So that's I think the 0.5 and then a heavy brush.
Okay. Wow. I love the concept, and we talked about it earlier. I know that like
and that was one of my earlier concepts because if you look at my first page, like right next to Deadpool, I have the
oh, you do have it.
Yeah, because I was like, I want to have Deadpool breaking the fourth wall.
Right.
And it was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look how clever I am. It's faux clever.
No. I think it's brilliant. I don't know if I've ever seen this done on a Marvel comic. So
yeah.
I mean, obviously they do that, but I don't. Have they ever done it so literally?
I'm sure they have.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm wondering, honestly. So I love it. I love that smile, that goofy smile on his face too. It's perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. 30 minutes though, really?
Yeah.
Dang, dude. That's impressive.
Well, I was running out of time real quick, so.
Well, I love it. This is hardcore, dude.
This is my favorite thing that I've drawn.
And, like, remind me who the character is again.
So that's Larvox from the Green Lantern Corps.
Right.
This is the first time that I've drawn a sunflower.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, this was one of the first concepts I had. It's not quite the same concept that I had when I was making the whole thing, but I think it came out better.
Oh, I love it. No, I mean, is there? And I don't know. I'm afraid I don't know the character of Larvox very well.
So Larvox has no mouth,
right?
Cannot speak and doesn't really communicate, but is considered one of the fiercest warriors of the Green Lantern Corps and one of the strongest members. And
really,
I was picture Larvox just happy to be around like things.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is me playing with the whole Larvox kind of looks like a thumb. So I imagined the wrinkles on your thumb. Well, what if that hung over from the costume a little and formed kind of a smile?
Oh, that's great.
Because no mouth.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I mean there is oddly enough there is emotion.
Yeah.
In Larvox here, and so but I love like. Now that you've related the significance of the sunflowers to me, I just love that.
Yeah,
man.
I'd like to redo the Green Lantern symbol a little, and I'd mess with the line weight a little, thicken the outline a bit more, have them
on him
pop. Yeah, just kind of around, just slightly, have them pop from the background a little bit more.
Man, I think you have the right line weight because if you added color to this. It'll be just all that more apparent.
Fair enough.
So
yeah, but that's where I learned the simplicity of the shading on the eye.
Yeah,
just that weird don't draw here, there you go.
Right. Yeah. No. The rendering's perfect. Yeah. No. Well done, dude.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. So is it?
I think it's this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, this one looks like. You were running out of time.
That was me running out of time. And that honestly is a little bit of research as well.
Yeah.
So I completely departed from what I was working on because one, ran out of time, ran out of some ideas, and I just didn't give myself time to think on any ideas. And so I had been doing some research on World War II planes, and so I just threw that down real quick.
It's really neat. I was really kind of hoping that it was going to be like the size of my thumb on a big, massive.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Oh man,
that would have been way cool.
That would have made it an art.
It would have.
Not to say that this isn't art. This is art, not an art.
Right.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, and I think next year I'm going to challenge myself to do smaller and more eloquent for time purposes as well.
Right. Well, and typically I have that little like phone size.
Right.
But I realized real quick that I needed space.
Okay.
This year I didn't want to go this big because I knew that.
No, this is a great size. I mean, I should have done this.
Yeah. I think that just the slightly bigger or slightly smaller than textbook size. That's the way to go for.
Absolutely.
Because you can do as much or as little as you want.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't feel like you've wasted the page.
Right. Absolutely.
All right.
So
here we have yet another one of my. Oh God, I did that hour and a half, and I'd never really drawn birds before.
Had you not? Oh, how funny.
Yeah, and this is where I realized that scratchy, awful background is better than no background.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
because it just added something. I looked at a picture of. Like I took a picture, I was like, something's really missing, so I just went through and...
It's funny, I like whenever I want to add an element of atmosphere, like in this way, I'll usually it's in the sky, I will like add a cloud, or
just
two maybe.
Something, and I thought about that, I was like, I'm going to have to figure out how to draw a couple clouds.
And clouds aren't that. I mean, clouds can be anything, honestly.
But they can also look like, what's that amorphous blob? Whereas like on your previous drawing, like there's a definite weight to them, and then the air pressure's flattening out the bottom. And,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since I hadn't really drawn birds, I sure as heck hadn't drawn a realistic cloud yet. So,
but I love how I love the static. How you. What am I trying to say? I'm so horrible with words sometimes. No, I love that you captured these birds mid-flight through vision, and how where you decided to have a wing showing or a beak coming through.
Yeah, and it helped shape him as a figure.
It did. It totally did.
Yeah, like that's one of the earlier concepts that I had. Is just I really wish that I would have had more like a flock going through him and him looking a little bit more bewildered.
Absolutely. No.
But, time constraints being what they were, this is what we got.
And I can still I can still see some bewilderment in his face anyway, so I'm okay with that. Yeah.
So Mockingbird to me is one of the most underrated female superheroes, and she has a temper, and she's, so often she's written poorly as just another spy superheroine, whereas she's a scientist, and
she is.
Yeah.
See, I don't know that character very well.
Dr. Barbara Morse.
Okay.
Yeah, she is awesome. She's she's quick-witted. She's a smartass. She's
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Wit so sharp she'll cut you.
Oh, I love it.
And with this, her temper goes, out of control. And it was I would love to see an interrogation, like this at some point.
Oh, sure.
So like I drew, and I was running out of time on this one too a little, but I got the purse handle still in the guy's hand, but not the purse because she would have taken care of that.
Right.
Just little things.
Nice. Well thought out. I mean,
someone did think that she had a gun. And I was like, I could have positioned the screamer stick a little differently to where it didn't look.
Oh, how funny! I didn't even. Well, and I guess I knew enough about the character, what kind of weapons she carried, so that didn't occur to me.
Yeah, but I wanted to make sure that it looked like she was shoving his, face in.
Right.
You know.
Oh, sure. No, absolutely.
And it was my first attempt drawing a screaming female character.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean,
because typically you're trying to draw women as beautiful as you can, because it's really easy to make a woman look just disingenuous or very plain.
Okay.
Or
right.
unable to figure the whatever gender you're trying to portray through line work.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, but I mean, at the same time, I do like the idea of having a little ugliness to the situation.
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I get that entirely.
Okay.
If I was a more accomplished artist.
Oh, I get it. Well, I mean, I
yeah, it's something to work towards, but for this, it was let's draw a beautiful woman looking ugly.
Cool.
Because anger is ugly.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love it.
Thank you.
Rock on.
All right, so here we have your ninja samurai bird.
Yep.
Yeah. Inspiration on this?
Oh, well, at one point I was considering making it a Jedi bird.
That's fun.
Yeah. But I decided I just didn't really want to. You
didn't want a Star Wars a thing that without any reason.
Yeah. I like the idea. So during our staycation, we went to the zoo, and this was actually one of the birds we saw at the zoo, and so I'd taken some pictures of it. And I thought I need to use that for something, and I felt there was an elegance that I felt like needed to be portrayed in that bird, and so there's the most of the
this bird has honor.
It
yeah.
So true. That's probably why I went samurai, not Jedi.
Yeah.
Because Jedi don't have honor. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
yeah.
No, that's really, really cool.
Yeah. And you'll notice I've completely strayed away from the brush pens at this point. So I have this Pentel pen called the Tradio, and it has some really neat line weights in it. It's a fun pen, and so I've been playing with it a lot now, and just different with some different textures and stuff now.
See, now that I've bumped up my level, I'm going to start playing around with some of the more expensive pens.
Very cool.
Because I just wanted to go with the pre-packed. Here's your different line width things.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
brush.
No. Yeah.
It's a good place to learn from, and it takes a lot of it replaces skill with technical tool.
Yes. And then when you start combining the two,
right,
some beautiful things can happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And as we go forward, it's you can see where I'm learning the better use of these pens.
Absolutely.
What's this? Has time run out for our dynamic duo? But what about the rest of the artwork? And what will fate hold for Buck's beard? Tune in 2 weeks, same bat time, same bat channel.